socks. Come and join me today for a day in the life of a YouTuber, content creation / enjoying the outdoors. What's really cool is we go from the Slowberry and then round the corner we pass on to the Laws and Navies. Just trying to find a place where I can set up the tarp and the hammock to have a little chill out for the day, but I think this is too busy. It's not even a full woodland, it's like a tiny hedge of trees that are next to a fishing lake. But it's really littered. I mean, over there, look, the amount of litter is disgusting. But this could be a spot. I'll keep walking around other places and see if I can find somewhere. Now, I'm not sure. I watched a channel last week, discovered him. He's been around for a while. Hidden Valley Bushcraft. Nick Goldsmith, I think his name is. And he was doing like this poisonous plants in the country. And there's a couple I've noticed that look similar to like that poison hemlock all around here. But this one here, this. Now I'm not 100% sure if it is that plant, but he mentioned this plant that grows really low level. It looks like little corn on the cob shells, kernels, and I think that's the plant. Yeah, so when kids are running around in these woods, look for plants like that on the floor if you've got your kids out playing, because they are tempted to grab them and pick them or even chew them. We'll be back tomorrow, maybe the day after. We'll start doing some elderberry and blackberries and some tinder bundle collections. YouTube's good for getting you started with looking at foraging and stuff, but never do it from just books and YouTube. Make sure you do courses and go out with people that really know their plants. If you are looking for courses, like I said on a previous video, I did a 2-hour one, or maybe 3 hours it was, on a Thursday night club by Jack Raven Bushcraft, and Gary took us out and showed us all the different types of plants in the area. Now, we did some tinder bundle collections, we did things like nettle collections, we even made like twine and rope cordage with nettles. We did like garlic, wild garlic, some edibles and things like that he showed us as well. Really good course. Yeah, check out Jack Raven Bushcraft if you are interested in learning more. And if you're in the Kent area. Now, I didn't want to sit indoors today, really didn't, so I've just decided to get out, finish off the rest of the videos. Obviously the rain video stopped me doing the knots, so today we're doing 2 knots. There'll be separate videos, don't worry. We're doing the rest of that jacket review, and I'm hoping to test out those hobo stoves that I made the other day on the videos. Yeah, some of these trees would be good. It says barbed wire running in there. Maybe I can get inside that bit. Maybe there's a little area there where I can hang some trees. It'd be nice. Hang some trees, hang my hammock. I said to my family what I was doing today, going out doing this. Mum was like, "You're a strange man, you've got a strange look on the world." Because I go on rants about how much I hate working for people. I hate being under someone's control, and we all are in the countries we live in. We're all controlled by everything. But just eating Uber right now works for me, because apart from today, it all going to crap, not working properly. But normally it works really good for me. You've got the freedom to choose when and when you want to work. They say, well, get loads of money, you can save up. And yeah, I do need some money so I can actually drive further and do some stuff. But money's just not a motivation for me anymore. I've been in debt massively before. So like chasing money and buying all the latest gadgets and that. It's just, for what? I seem to get a lot more joy just walking for free. And like little things like learning to tie knots and boil water with a stove that I've made from a tin can. It's a lot more enjoyable. So it's just trying to find that balance. I don't mind working, you know. And like the amount of effort I've put into a lot of the websites I've done over time, and the music I've tried, and obviously this being a wild channel, it's not through lack of trying or working. It's just obviously not making good enough content yet, being consistent enough. Even though I've done 100 videos now, it's just got to keep at it. But I'm happy to put the time and effort into these sort of things, even without the money for now. Because the reward is, if you do make a little bit of money, enough to live, you're doing things you enjoy. And I know I will enjoy doing this, because I've been doing it for a while now, a long time, made a lot of videos, not earned a single penny, and I'm still doing it. So the money will always be the bonus. Just walking back up that hill bit earlier, just to see where them trees were, but again it's all a little bit, if I can get in there or not. Let's have a little look-see. Yeah. Yeah, it's the wrong angle. Fresh socks with garden watering cans on from my niece for my birthday. Thank you, Emily, who's always laughing at my multicoloured socks that I wear. So she's gone black with a little bit of colour to make me a little bit happy. Because everyone used to laugh at my other socks. They were like 7 different colours and stripes. But if you saw her dress, you'll soon realise that I've never really cared about fashion, if I'm honest. It's never been me. I've never been good at picking out fashion. Yeah. Never had the interest. Outdoors, I bought like regatta and mountain wear. It's a lot more affordable and cheap. Just plain green, plain or coyote. That's it. It's easy, isn't it? These t-shirts are like 15 years old. I'll wear them until they fall apart. It's much easier. I don't want to have to think about fashion all the time. That's why I'd probably like the outdoors more as well, because I guess you're not judged as much. Maybe some people judge, like they like their Fuel Raven. Don't get me wrong, Fuel Raven makes some gorgeous stuff. Gorgeous stuff. This is not going to be a good spot here. This is just all open land. There's a bit up here with trees that run down. Let's try up there actually. Let's try up there. Now that could have been a good one there. That tree across to there. Nice gap away from the fence, but it's from the main path. I ain't got to that stage yet of like not giving a shit about people saying stuff. I'm sure that point would come, but it's too out in the open anyway. The whole point is to be able to just lay in your hammock and relax. There, you got everyone walking past you. Oh, there are some trees here. They're a bit close together though. Again, it's the main path, which is annoying. You do get like the rangers come. Potentially could have tied it from here to here. The floor's uneven, but it's a hammock, so it doesn't matter as much. As long as you get it even on the tree. I mean, I could wait until later tonight and tie the hammock. we will be using, for the first time, one of my Be More Wild, Stay Wild mugs. Brand new. It's got my logo on it. I've made some t-shirts and some vests with the Stay Wild logo as well. But yeah, if you are interested in these, let me know. They're not on the website at the moment. The website's being rebuilt for the 15th time. But if you are interested in these sort of things, let me know. I can get them made up still. Stay Wild. It's enamel as well, so don't put it directly on the fire. So what did I bring? Well, I brought this bag. I don't know, it's called Adventure something. I bought it from Wilco's years ago and it's lasted like over 10 years. It's done well. It's got a couple of holes now on the side bits here on the mesh, but it's done bloody good for a cheap bag. And used regularly. I've used it more than any bag I've ever owned. Right, what I've bought is some methylated spirit, my tin can stove, lighters, some tent pegs, light ones, to try and see if it works with the windshield. Then we've got some water in here and a cup as well. We'll sort that in a minute. So this is where I made the Siberian hitch video and the taut line hitch video. I'm not going to play them all in full, so if you want to see them, they are in the description below. But because this is all part of the behind the scenes, I thought I'd show you a little bit of what I did before we carry on. And don't forget to keep your cordage nice and tidy. Use the figure 8 technique. Shows you how tight this area is. Oh, I'm caught. Oh, I'm caught. That's my fault having the tripod on the outside, I guess. Yeah, we're through now, pretty much. Minus the forms. Pot with me, but there's no room in my bag. I could have done the berry and tinder collection. There's something mildly satisfying though about a stinging nettle on your leg. Like, it stings, it hurts, but then it's like a weird satisfaction with it. This tree originally was covered with this ivy all the way up. You can see like different grooves it had on it, and every time I come past I destroy some of the ivy from the bottom. You can see the tree's actually starting to come back. There's bits there still, and you should really not pull it from the bottom. Pull from the bottom, break the connection to the soil where it's pulling up its nutrients, and then it will just die away from the top. But people think it looks nice, and I'm sure it does to some people. There's not many trees in this area, and this ivy It's everywhere, look. It just surrounds the trees and suffocates them. Strangles them to death, takes away the nutrients. And you can pull it from here, but what it does, they've already started binding to the here. So you'll see where they start to penetrate the wood. If you look, that line's down here. But you can see where that vine's latched on. If you pull it away, it leaves like a scar, damage to the tree. So yes, try to be careful when handling the common ivy and ivy in general. Sometimes it can cause reactions with some people, I've read. Also, try not to pull the ivy away from the tree directly because it can damage the bark. If you are going to remove the ivy, like I said, try and remove it from the bottom and detach it, and then the rest of it will just die away naturally. Also wear gloves. I got distracted, so yeah, still walking. I did a nice spot earlier, done a bit of the knot practice, hitches, and then I've made some videos for them, so they'll be out, check them. I'm now going to find another spot. I was looking for like the hammock bits around here, but I don't think this spot's going to work for the hammock. It's actually a lovely day today, after all that terrible rain yesterday. Hydration. Did you enjoy seeing Jet on his first walk, getting soaked in the rain? Such a hippie. Becoming such a hippie. It's my Shimar. This comes everywhere with me now. I never use it practically, but I just constantly, if I find something I can tie one of the knots on, I just go and use this. So I walk around places and I'll just tie a Siberian hitch or the taut line hitch. It's the only two I know at the moment, but I just constantly keep tying them, which is good because they're becoming second nature now. We've got some methylated spirit, got a lid, got a tea, English tea. I didn't bring milk because I thought it's not worth it. Got lighters, my alcohol can stove, and my windshield made from a beer can. And I think that's what I need. I've got a spare, what is this? I've got a spare bit of parachute cord in my bag, not opened, in case I need it for something. I might do, you never know. I did have a clean cup, that's full of like plants. I've got the Stay Wild, Be More Wild cup to put it into, and I'm hoping it's going to boil. I did bring my UCO candle, so if I do find a place to put the tarp up, I might be able to light a candle. Or hammock up, because I've got a feeling that I haven't, it's a brand new tarp. I don't think I've even opened it, so there's going to be no ropes or guy lines or anything attached to it. And I've only got one piece of paracord, and I didn't bring a knife or anything. Many fouls. I'm not actually going to need the windshield. That's my windshield. Literally a piece of can that I cut. So the original plan for the windshield to work was you put like a tent peg in. This is me just guessing how it would work. Like that. And then you just sort of, I don't know, sort of make it work somehow. I don't like the fact that you have to push against that actually though, because they are still quite sharp, these cans. There you go, something like that. And then you'd put your can stove there. Obviously not perfect because it's on a hill, but yeah. I was just trying to think, like, if you did forget a way of, I mean, you still need to have methylated spirit, so if that's all you had on you and a tin can, you could technically make a fire with that and boil water. So that would be the windshield. Obviously you'd have it on a flat bit of ground, wherever you're going to do it, and then you'd put your stove there. That's really sharp, it's a couple finger. Stove would sort of sit there. That's kind of my bodge job. So if you had tent pegs, your tin can, definitely get a metal sharpener, a file on this and file this down because it is quite dangerous, but if you're only using it one time, in emergency, it'll do the trick. There we go. So next we're going to need some of this methylated spirit. I mean, this isn't luxury cooking, this is like survival, but again, you kind of reliant on having methylated spirit on your person, which is not guaranteed, is it? And you've got to carry it around and it's not light. Our Pathfinder mug, which we're going to do our best to boil. We've got our drinking mug to have afterwards. Just hoping that these lighters work. There we go. I'm hoping now this mug doesn't put it out. It sounds like it's still going. My beer can stove is actually working. Now you can put a lid on to make it boil faster, but it's quite warm out, so I'm not going to bother. But you can cook with the lid on top. I didn't bring gloves, so I'm not going to do that. I'm hoping the handles don't get too hot. English breakfast tea. It's going to be a black tea. I didn't bother bringing milk and stuff. Tea's ready. The water's just starting to bubble. It's been about 3 minutes, 4 minutes. It's working though, isn't it? It's actually really cool when you make something yourself, like you've seen on YouTube, a tin can stove. It's actually boiling water, and then actually going to be able to make a cup of tea from it. That's really exciting. So it's well, I say a thumbs up. Got to get it off yet and then extinguish it safely. Okay, things to learn in the future is bring your gloves. There's the water boiling. I'm going to pour that. Handles are hot. Pour that into my tea. So there's my tea seeping. And now you can see it's around here, it needs extinguishing. So it should go out just by suffocation, but this has got little holes in it. Here you go, that worked. So we'll let that cool down. Obviously now this is my boiling water cup. I didn't want to use my drinking cup to extinguish it, just in case that stuff splashes up. And I'm not boiling no more today, so yeah, we do need something to extinguish it. But let that cool down for a bit. There's my tea. Yeah, it's boiling. So the plan next is let that cool down. Once it cools down, you can put the methylated spirit back into the original container. Let it all cool down. It shouldn't take long. Then it's all be packed away. Yeah, pros and cons, lessons to learn is I need a way to extinguish it. You can't just blow it out. You don't even want to pour water on it. It's still relatively warm, so I won't do it just yet. Teabag. The cup is absolutely boiling. The handle's red hot. So yeah, to do this you need a glove to drink your tea, stuff with it. But let it cool down a bit anyway. I've got the Pathfinder mug as well. I don't know if it's lined or not, this one. I'm not sure if this one can go, pardon me, if this can go on a fire. I think it can. You just obviously don't put the lid on, it's plastic. I don't know if this one can. Do you know if this can be used on fires? The Pathfinder? I just use it for like carrying water and transferring and stuff. This was the cup that came with it, this Pathfinder cup. You can obviously hook it up as well through the hole. And I've learned it also works as a good distinguisher. Extinguisher. Yeah, so it's been about 5 minutes since it's gone out. It's still quite warm. So I'm gonna probably leave it 10-15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. And then we'll look at packing it up. It's kind of like a tutorial, but it's more like in practice of how I made this. You can check it out on my channel, how I did it. It's made from recycled material, so technically you could do it for free. All you need is methylated spirit, and then you're sorted. It's ultra lightweight. You won't get any cook set lighter than that. It's not ultra practical, because it is very small. And you need methylated spirit. You can't put twigs or nothing in there. It was fun little project. One of the first things I've made again. Learning all these new things, and it's actually worked. That's the main thing. So this will be coming out in more videos now. Because I've made it and it's personal to me, I would like to use this more. Maybe just for boiling drinks up. 5 minutes I had a hot tea, which I still can't drink, it's too hot. Yeah. Would you like to see me do a overnight wild camp in this spot? It'll literally just be like a evening cook. I'll cook a meal up here with a cook set. I won't have a fire. Someone's made a fire over there and they're terrible, made a mess. They've got like burnt shoes and plastic and everything. It's really bad. I could do an overnight here. I'll set up a tent or something. Maybe if I could get that tarp tent sorted that I tried to do last time. I came here 3 weeks ago with a tarp, Enkyo tarp. It only had 9 tie-off points in each corner, and you need the points in between the points, like on the DD hammocks, to make those dome tarp tents. So I couldn't make it. So I was well annoyed. So I could come back and do an overnight, maybe making that, sleep in that, cook some food up. I'll do my wood burning stove for my drinks, cook some food up on my little stove, gas stove or something, and camp out here. It's populated. It's got a main bridge just here, literally 200, 300 foot away. Maybe 1,000 foot, I don't know. It's not far. Less than a minute walk. Then there's a main path just here, literally. From there, it's a path, public path, country park, and it leads all the way off down that way to Saxon Shore. So it is busy around here. If I got here in the evening, I could set the tent up, do all that stuff late at night, have a little read, have a kip, get up in the morning and leave. It'd probably be alright. This grass is trodden down quite a bit as well, and it always seems to be flattened compared to other parts, so it does seem like a lot of people walk on here, if not a lot of animals do as well, like foxes and stuff. It's used, and obviously there's a really bad fire pit in front of me that people have burnt all kinds of crap. If I had a black bag, I'd have packed it all up. Annoyingly, I haven't got one. This might have cooled down now. The pegs are fine. So yeah, 4 tent pegs, a windshield made from a piece of tin can. That's all cooled down, and the wood burner stove. Now that's the bonus of this is obviously because it's a liquid format, you can just pour it back and it's reusable. You just pour that through the bottom. I'm going to pour this out in. Maybe I might take the middle bit out. Another lesson learned. Take out your middle, your top part. Just slightly bend it, and it should then. I thought it was this one, but this one is, even though it's good, it's so like, got so many sharp bits hanging off it. I should have gone round a pair of scissors maybe and just tidied it up and then got like a metal file on it. I haven't got a metal file, but just make it a bit safer. That might work, but yeah, methylated spirit, all done now, packed away. Some kind of circular shape. Place it back inside your cook stove. 10 pegs inside, there you go. Ready to go back. Now, if you want people to stop complaining about people doing wild camping and stuff, you need to stop doing shit like this. Just stop doing things like that. And then come out and do camping as much as you want. People that leave the ground like this and do things like this regularly are probably not the people that enjoy it regularly, but they're still damaging it for all of us. That's not bad actually. I'm not a fan of black tea, if I'm honest. That's actually quite nice, probably because it's really hot today. Any form of drink's kind of refreshing, isn't it? I thoroughly enjoyed that. I might put this back now. The hobo stove test. I'm just going to leave it all in one video, I think. Just, I don't know, maybe a day in the life of just a outdoors hike, content making day. I've still got a video to make for my jacket that got wet. It's in my bag there. It's too hot to put on right now. There are people that are really gear orientated. Like, it's all about the gear. All the gear! It's all about the gear. What gear you got, son? Ah, that's no good, mate. I've got the T1 for 25,000. That's the best, boy. Cost me 400 quid. Yeah. Have you been out and used it yet? Nah. Nah, it's indoors. I'm exaggerating a bit, but there are people like that just buy all the gear and never actually use it outdoors. So you get like the high class gear stuff. And don't get me wrong, like the Fuel Raven shirt that was bought for me as a gift, you can feel the quality and it is really good. I don't wear it in this weather, but when autumn and winter comes, I'll be wearing that more. But outdoors is, yeah, just experience it. And you can get away with, in England especially, you can get away with the cheapest gear at first, you know. Really cheap budget stuff, man. I mean, I've never bought anything expensive, ever. And my bag was, what, 20 quid? Everything in there is probably under 30 quid individually. This Pathfinder set I bought, At most that would have been 40-50 quid, but that was for like quite a big set. This cup, that big mug set, all this, plus like the fish eye was I think a £5 on top of the fish hook thing. Again, it's not really expensive when you see that other sets for like 200-300 quid. I mean, I've just made this for the first time, free, with some normal tent pegs. So you've got a cooking stove there. Methylated spirit was 4 quid. I think it's like 8-9 quid now on Amazon. You know, so you can go out and boil your drinks in that pretty cheap, do all that sort of stuff. This cup is one of my products, my logo that I made, and that's probably the most dearest thing I've got because to make it and prototype it costs more than when you actually start selling it, but it does the job. Cheap and cheerful. Start off with the cheap stuff, as long as it's usable. I mean, more with knives, you get more with knives for under 15 quid. Use that. Then get a Highlander Wolverine folding saw for $8.99. At most 15 quid, if they're still making them. I'm not sure if they stopped making them, but I've got one of them. It's brilliant, dirt cheap. You can even go to like Home Base, I was going to say Wilko's for the folding garden saws, really cheap. I'm not sure Wilko's would be about anymore, but dirt cheap. You can even, I went to Home Base, my first axe was a £5. I bought this really cheap axe from Home Base, and looks cheap. It's 5 years old, still got it. It's got a little bit of rust on it now. I use it mainly for the garden now, for like, well, I was using it for like banging out roots and stuff and different things. But it's still there going. I know someone who had the same axe and he broke it in the first week, but I've had it 5 years and it's still working. I've bought another axe a little while after, I think that was 20 quid on Amazon, and that's still going. I didn't look after this one, I left it in the garden outside for 2 years and it's full of rust now. It still works, blunt, but it's still together, it hasn't fallen apart. You could tidy it up a little bit, remove the rust, sharpen it, and it still work. So yeah, it is nice to have the expensive stuff eventually. Like Fuel Raven, there's another company, I forgot the name, begins with H. They make some really nice looking gear, clothing, and that you think, oh, that's nice, but it's dear. It's like £200 for the trousers, whatever it is, and for the jacket. It's so expensive. At the moment, I've got Primark shorts on for 5 quid, and this 15-year-old t-shirt that cost me 3 quid. You know, this hat's 20 years old. I don't know what it cost me, probably 15 quid as well. Socks bought for me by my niece. And I've got some old sandal-y things, they were 20 quid, but they were a gift. Yeah, start off cheap and just get out and do things. And then if you're using a product regularly and you think, actually, I might be worth upgrading this to something more reliable, but my Mora knives, that's still working. In the bushcraft course I did, he had all Mora knives, it's all beginners using them, smacking them with battens. They're all still working. They're not full tang, but they're still fully functioning, they haven't broke. So yeah, just don't buy compasses from China because they're useless. AliExpress and that, don't buy them. Try and buy local if you can, British or local. But yeah, don't have to break the bank. Mountain Warehouse do really good clothing for cheap. Regatta, they do loads of clothing and gear for cheap. My rucksack was Wilko's, but they don't make them anymore. But that was 20 quid. Yeah, I'm ranting, I know, but I think a lot of people get put off by the camping side for the prices and stuff. You know, the dearest part will probably be the tent. You know, but you can probably get a tent for 80-90 quid brand new. It would last you a long time. You can get a tarp and just learn to do the tarp stuff. Tarps are cheap. Yeah, if it cost you, will be the time to learn how to do the different configurations and knots and stuff, but then you're sorted. You can do tarps, get a walking stick, a trekking pole, and then you can do like the fancy the shelters with the tarps. Yeah, there's loads of things you can do. All starts on a budget. I mean, yeah, I will still class myself as a complete budget outdoors person. Even like creating content, I've got a really old phone that I have to delete apps every time I try and record videos and then reinstall them. the mic's broke, so I got this £10 mic, wired one. I plugged that in, and that works for now. Just work. You can always do it, even if it's really cheap stuff. Just get out and do it. Make a beer can stove. Even if you don't drink, just ask someone if they've got a can. Get a couple of them, practice them. Make a beer can stove. Get a cheap bag from somewhere. Marketplace is good now. People clearing out stuff. Oh, I've really enjoyed this. Walking's free. Yeah. I don't know why I come up with that actually, why I started rambling, but yeah, just don't go out and spend loads of money. It's tempting. Even now, I'd love to go out and just do $1 grand on all these different products and items and not use them. But, you know what I mean? Go out and spend all the money on this gear and be like, oh yeah. But just, yeah, build it up slowly. Start cheap and build it up. Just to add to that as well, like, people say you get what you pay for, and it's kind of true, but the general quality of cheap stuff is a lot better than it used to be. You know, there's a point when I went through buying loads of AliExpress stuff, which I don't do anymore because all the sustainability thing and ethicalness, I just don't think it's right if I keep buying all cheap gear from China. Then I see British companies that do the same gear, maybe a 10 or more, closing down. It doesn't sit right with me anymore, so I don't buy from AliExpress now. I've never used this Temu or Wish. So yeah, I think it's good to try and support all the bushcraft and outdoor stores online, or if they've got stores, go to them. Try and stick to local places, try and support our own economy a bit as well, rather than outsourcing everything abroad. And like I said, the only thing I've seen that's cheap, that was crap, was some compasses from AliExpress. They all had a different idea of north. I think there's 8 compasses and each one pointed a different direction for north. So I wouldn't rely on things like that. And I wouldn't, you know, like t-shirts and what stuff, you can go cheap. The only things I say don't go cheap on would be things that potentially affect your life. So don't buy cheap when it comes to compasses. Make sure you get something that's reliable, tested and works. Even first aid kits, I would say don't just buy the cheapest you can find. Buy something that's trusted, because you're not going to be using them every day. So buy something that costs a little bit more maybe, but you know is good quality, because you need it to save your life. Some things like water, like drinking straws, the survival straws, again, you want something that's reliable, trustworthy, has got all the tests that proves that it actually does filter what it says it filters. The last thing you want to do is buy a cheap £20 one and it doesn't do what it says it does, and then you start drinking this water and then you just projectile vomiting, diarrhoea. Not worth it. Not worth it. So that's my rant. Enjoy it, get outdoors if you're starting new. Get everything cheap, second hand and whatever you need, just so you can get out and start doing it. But don't go cheap when it comes to compasses, if you're going out into the mountains, or first aid stuff. If you've got any other ideas yourself and what not to go cheap on, then yeah, stick your comments in, but the basic things, cups, clothing, especially in summer, yeah, just use what you got, stay cheap, enjoy it and then upgrade. It is sweltering out here. Right, we're going to move on. We're going to try and film my jacket a little bit, fancy style, and then we'll see if we can do this tarp and hammock, but I'm not guaranteeing them ones. Maybe the tarp or the hammock, if we find a spot. So that's another thing I was taught when I did Jack Raven bushcraft courses, was when you find a spot to camp, and while you're looking, always look up. I mean, that's probably not enough to kill you, but that bit of wood there at the end of it coming down, that caught you clump on the head, it'd do some damage. Yeah, always look up. If you look, the last thing you want is any of this falling on your head. Oh, got some elderberries here, more of them. Can't quite reach them ones, but yeah. Ah, here we go. Knowing me, not a lot. I have the choo-choo train, but it's not coming. Let's actually film the train coming, why not? Here it comes. That's pretty cool. Steam train. Used to be part of the recycling yard back in the day. Funny thing is, I normally say something like, don't worry about buying cheap stuff, it'll do the job. I said that today in a video, and then my bag, which I got for 20 quid, rips across the scene. But to defend the bag, it is over 10 years old, this bag, and it's been used a lot. It's been used for work, gym, camping, hiking. It has been really well used, and for 20 quid to last 10 years, well, £2 a year, good investment. But yeah, sadly it's just ripped across the seams, all split. So when I said about getting a new bag, it will probably be needed sooner rather than later. Just walking through the community orchard, slowly coming to life. You like apples? More apples. I always wondered, like, because it's council owned and it's a community orchard, does that mean you literally can just pick the apples and eat them? If you choose to? Or is that classed as scrumping and theft? Because 9 times out of 10 those apples don't get eaten. They always seem to be falling on the floor and just rotting, which I know feeds the ground, and insects and stuff will use it. Maybe some birds will eat them, but there's always an excess of apples left on the trees. So balls up again, like I said. I do these a lot. I forgot to take paracords with me and extra tent pegs. I've only got 4, so I can't peg in my tarp to the ground and I can't tie any paracord. I've got one bit of paracord which I've practiced knots on, but it's not long enough to stretch between 2 trees. So another failure, content creation failure, so I'll be making another video for that in the future as well. Just chilling out. I don't think those pigeons trusted me. They saw me looking that direction, they were like, nope. Don't trust the look of you. You may have new socks, but we don't trust you. So yeah, can't do the top. And the walk that I took, there was no trees to do the hammock properly without cutting off pathways and stuff. So I will find another spot this week and we'll just go out and do the hammock tarp in the near future. Well, I hope you kind of enjoyed a little day out with me making content, failing epically again many times. I'll tell you what though, I will actually, I think this week, I know there's 2 trees down there at the end of that little bit of grass that you can tie a hammock on. It's literally like a minute from my house. It's not really an adventure, but I did think about doing a camp there. So to wrap up, I'm going to get back, I'm going to finalise the jacket video, filming like all the scenes and bits, and that's it. Thanks for watching, thanks for joining me. It's nice to see the subscribers count slowly going up, bit by bit, day by day. But keep plugging away. Hope you're enjoying your adventures. Autumn will be here soon, and winter, so it'll be a complete different type of camping. So yeah, speak soon, stay wild.